Fear is the reason you are still standing in the same place while time keeps moving without you. And if that sentence hurt a little, it is because it is true. Because right now you already know what you should be doing. But fear is sitting quietly in your chest, whispering, "Wait later. Not now, you have time." And that voice sounds reasonable, but it is slowly stealing your life because the immediate pain point is this. You are not stuck because you lack talent. You are stuck because you are scared to move, and that fear shows up every morning when you think about starting, and every night when you regret not starting. And if you are honest with yourself, you are tired of being tired of fear. And that is the emotional hook, because you have felt this feeling before, the heavy feeling in your chest, when you see other people moving forward and you tell yourself they are lucky or confident or gifted, but deep down you know they were just willing to act scared while you stayed safe. And fear loves safety, because safety feels good today but destroys tomorrow. And here is the urgency and the stakes. If you do nothing, fear will not leave. It will grow because fear feeds on delay. And every time you postpone your dreams, fear becomes stronger and you become smaller. And one day you will wake up and realize the life you wanted is now too far away to reach easily. And that regret will hurt more than fear ever did, because fear hurts now, but regret hurts forever. And if you think you have time, understand this time is the one thing fear uses against you, because fear says later, but later is where dreams go to die. And the promise of transformation is this. If you stay with me, you will see that fear is not the enemy, it is the doorway. Because on the other side of fear is the version of you that you respect and trust, and that version is not fearless. That version is disciplined enough to move anyway. And this is a story about you versus you, not you versus the world, because the world is not holding you back. Your fear is. And fear wears many masks. Sometimes it looks like overthinking, sometimes it looks like perfection, sometimes it looks like waiting for motivation, sometimes it looks like asking for advice again and again, but all of them lead to the same place, nowhere. And the truth is, fear does not mean you are weak. Fear means you care, but caring without action becomes self-betrayal. And every time you feel fear and choose comfort, you teach your brain that fear is in control, and your brain learns fast and repeats what you reward. And if you reward fear with delay, fear will come back stronger tomorrow and the next day and the next. And soon fear becomes your identity, and you start saying things like, "That is just how I am." But that is not how you are. That is how you have trained yourself to be, and training can be changed, but only through action. And this is where most people quit, because they wait to feel ready. But readiness is a lie sold by fear, because nobody feels ready before doing hard things. They feel ready after doing them, and that is the part nobody tells you. And fear will always give you logical reasons to wait. It will tell you you need more money, more time, more confidence, more clarity. But clarity comes from action, not thinking, and confidence comes from proof, not hope. And the only proof that matters is the proof you give yourself when you act, despite fear. And understand this: fear does not disappear when you start it, quiets down, when you show it who is in charge. And the first time you act while scared, something powerful happens. You realize fear did not kill you, embarrassment did not destroy you, failure did not end you. And that realization is dangerous to fear, because fear survives on imagination, not reality. And once you experience reality, you stop believing every scary story fear tells you. And this is how the battle shifts, because fear wants you to believe that if you fail, it is over. But failure is feedback, and the people you admire failed more times than you have even tried. But they did not make fear their boss. They made it their signal, and that signal said, "This matters, so move." And you need to hear this clearly. Fear is not a stop sign. It is a direction sign, and it is pointing exactly where you need to go, and most people turn away. And that is why their life feels small and repetitive. But a few people lean in, and that is why their life expands, and those people are not special. They are just tired of letting fear decide. And maybe today you are tired, too. Tired of watching from the sidelines, tired of talking about potential, tired of promising yourself tomorrow and breaking that promise every night because every broken promise makes you trust yourself less. And fear grows in that broken trust, and rebuilding self-trust starts with small actions done consistently. Not with big speeches, and not with motivation videos, and not with planning another perfect plan, but with doing one uncomfortable thing today, and then another tomorrow, and another the next day. And slowly, fear loses its grip. Because you are proving to yourself that you move even when scared, and that is courage. Courage is not confidence, courage is movement. And the reason this matters so much is because fear does not just stop you from success, it steals your peace. Because when you know you are capable of more but choose less, you live with a quiet shame, and that shame shows up as stress, anger, distraction, scrolling, numbing. And over time you forget who you could have been, and that is the real tragedy. Not failure, but forgetting your own potential. And you might think fear will protect you from pain, but fear only postpones pain and multiplies it later, because the pain of discipline is temporary, but the pain of regret compounds, and you do not need to defeat fear forever. You just need to win today, because fear resets every morning, and so do you. And today, the battle is simple. Act or delay. And every day, you choose action. You build momentum, and momentum is fear's greatest enemy, because momentum creates identity, and identity shapes behavior. And soon you are no longer someone who overthinks you, or someone who moves, and that shift changes everything. And understand this. The world does not reward potential. It rewards action, and fear keeps potential locked inside you like a cage. And the key is always uncomfortable action. And you do not need to take a giant leap. You need to take a step. And that step might be sending the message, starting the project, posting the video, applying for the opportunity, waking up earlier, speaking up, leaving what is holding you back, and fear will scream when you do it. But that scream is the sound of growth. And growth always feels like loss at first, because you are losing an old version of yourself, and fear will try to bring you back to that version because it is familiar. But familiar is not safe. Familiar is just known, and known can still be miserable. And you deserve more than familiar misery. You deserve a life you respect. And respect comes from facing fear, not avoiding it, and the hardest. Truth is, this nobody is coming to save you from fear. You must walk through it alone. But you are not weak for feeling fear. You are strong for choosing action anyway. And every time you choose action, you rewrite the story. You tell yourself about who you are, and that story becomes your future. And one day you will look back and realize fear never left, but it stopped controlling you. And that is freedom, not the absence of fear, but the ability to move with it. And if you are still listening, this is your moment, because moments like this pass, and fear loves when you say later. So do not say later. Say now. And do one thing today that scares you just enough to grow, because growth lives just outside fear. And the life you want is waiting on the other side of the action you keep delaying. And remember this. You are not fighting fear. You are fighting the version of you that listens to fear. And that is why this is you versus you, and the you that wins is the one that moves first, and thinks later, and trusts the process, and keeps going even when it is uncomfortable. And that version of you already exists. It is just waiting for a decision, and this is that decision moment. And if this message hit you, if you felt seen, if you felt called out and lifted at the same time, then do not scroll away. Choose growth, choose action, choose yourself. I believe in your potential. Subscribe and stay connected, and let's continue this journey of growth together.